सत्यं ज्ञानं ज्योतिररविन्दः ॐ 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 सत्यं ज्ञानं ज्योतिररविन्दः
So welcome everyone. I think we should start. So I thought we can take today the prayer on page 22. Yeah, this one. June 18, 1913. So we'll just first maybe read the prayer and then we can share what struck us in the prayer or what seems resonating. So would anyone want to read out the prayer for all of us?
Yeah, Monica, I'll read.
Yes, please, Shadaji.
June 18, 1913. To turn towards thee, unite with thee, live in thee, and for thee is supreme happiness, unmixed joy, immutable peace. It is to breathe infinity, to soar in eternity, no longer feel one's limits, escape from time and space. Why do men flee from these boons as though they feared them? What a strange thing is ignorance, that source of all suffering. How miserable that obscurity which keeps men away from the very thing which would bring them happiness and subjects them to this painful school of ordinary existence fashioned entirely from struggle and suffering.
Thank you. I think it's really very helpful if we have our own selves. I'm sure all of us may have our own share. If we have really practically experienced this suffering, that how intense it becomes, and it as if your heart is clutched, it's like suffocated with that the source is ignorance, but whatever expectation is there or the demand is there from life, how the heart is as if clutched by a dark force, it seems. And it's very true that when mother says, why do men flee from these boons? And what are these boons? Supreme happiness, unmixed joy. The joy we have is when we get what we want, we have pleasure and delight. And when we don't get, then we have disappointment. So all of us have tasted that. You meet a friend, you feel joyful and there is delight. You stop meeting and there is disappointment and you want to meet and expectation and desire. So it's a mixed kind of joy that we have. So mother says that if we turn to the divine, it is supreme happiness, unmixed joy, immutable peace, a peace that is not shaken up by whether I get this or not get this according to me and my liking. It is to breathe infinity, to soar in eternity, and no longer feel one's limits, escape from time and space. So beautiful words and very, very revelatory. I want, all of us to connect with our very painful experiences where really as if you can't breathe. I have many of such experiences that as if your heart is clutched, you are not able to breathe and you don't know where to put your head, which wall to put your head on. And then in those moments, if you have truly, truly cried, and not turned to some human help and truly cried and waited for the divine help to come, then actually it happens that as if a door opens in us, and we are, at least for some time, when we have that glimpse, we are breathing freer air. Otherwise, even the breathing gets suffocated. You are not able to breathe. One is not able to breathe. And when is this happening? When we are turned towards our thoughts, our intensities and passions and feelings and expectations from life. People are not behaving the way you want them to behave. Things are not happening in life that you would like them to happen. You're not getting love in the way you want to get love. So all these things, whenever we are turned towards all these things, we don't have happiness, we are miserable, we have mixed, alloyed, kind of joy. We have peace, which is very shaken very easily. And we are not, at least I feel that when in the intensities of this suffering, I'm not able to even breathe properly. The heart is as if clutched by some force, dark force. So mother is giving us, we go to a doctor and we have a prescription that the doctor gives for the diagnosis. Mother is giving us the ultimate prescription. If only we have the courage to follow it and faith to follow it. And there are times, when in my life I have really gone through very, I would say, very intensely painful phases, and it seems like you pick up the phone and of course you talk to a friend and your आपका दिल हल्का हो जाता है, your heart feels lighter, but that is not the true solution. वो so I always I felt that yeah, it's okay, my hand may be going towards the phone and किसको मैं बता दूं जिससे मेरा ये हल्का हो जाए, but always and always it feels like no, I don't want to do that, because I rather suffer a little bit more and turn to the truest solution rather than find a temporary solution just because I can't bear this pain. Even if we can't bear the pain, we can pray again, that please, please save me from this pain, and I know you are there, and please show me the light. And immediately there is a door that opens within us itself through the divine hand, and we are able to get out of that clutch which was suffocating us. And we are feeling very limited also when we are suffocated in that intensity of pain. And mother says that when we turn to the divine, totally inwardly, fully to the divine, removing all the obscuring feelings and thoughts that may be coming, that may be clutching at your heart. Then when we, as if you are imagining Mother's and Sri Aurobindo's picture and image in your body, when you turn to your body, close your eyes, and when you just feel them throughout, and just have that experience of their presence, then actually one can have a breath of fresh air, to breathe infinity, to soar in eternity, because otherwise the lower consciousness pulls us down. And Mother, in her other prayers, she also shares that how it is important for us to actually go through all these experiences, even darker ones, because all the light that we have during the times of, at times meditating, and reading good stuff, and maybe reading Mother and Sri Aurobindo, when we have uh, delightful experiences, they have to change even the darkness that we feel from time to time. तो ऐसे नहीं चलेगा. And in one of the experiences, I felt that as if one is trying to push away the darkness, कि go away, don't pester me, too much of darkness, too much of pain. But immediately I was calling Mother and Sri Aurobindo, and as if in that darkness, I just felt Mother's presence filling up that darkness. And there was nothing in the darkness but the divine presence. So those experiences also Mother shares in her prayers and meditations, that even the darkest, most episodes have to be there. One has to find the divine love even in the darkest, most episodes, if one can do that. And Mother says, why do men flee from these boons? And it's very easy to pick up a phone and talk, and relax your sadness by just sharing it out. And we do that, I think it has its place. At times nothing else is helping, and that has its place. And just a second. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I forgot what I was sharing. Happens. Yeah, so I was
You were
sharing.
talking about
Huh.
picking up the phone and talking.
Yeah, exactly. It happens that as if because I am habituated, to pick up the phone and share my sadness. All of us are habituated used to something or the other. जो एक temporary relief तो मिलता ही है उससे, कुछ हो ना हो, but as if आपने दिल हल्का कर दिया, वो burden you have kept it down and maybe shared it around with your friend. But I always have felt that that's not the ultimate solution. That is because of habit I do that, because I'm not able to bear the pain. But with growth in consciousness and with growing stillness in the being, if one is able to endure the pain and invokes more stillness and peace further, then I feel that we get connected with a greater strength, which is greater and always hidden within us. And usually we don't turn to that, we turn to some other friend or temporary relief. Why do men flee from these boons? तो हमको उसका टेस्ट ही नहीं है, as if it feels कि हमको उसका टेस्ट ही नहीं है. All that we have taste for is our habitual habits, and that is where I find my hand going, or the eyes going, कि कोई फ्रेंड मिल जाए जिससे मैं दिल हल्का कर लूँ, या फोन पे या टीवी पे कुछ देख लूँ. All these are habits. So as if we are fleeing away from turning fully to the divine. Why do men flee from these boons as though they feared them? Very interesting. What a strange thing is this ignorance, the source of all suffering. And it is ignorance, that we don't know what is the ultimate root where I can find what I'm trying to find. All the time we are seeking happiness, we are seeking joy, we are seeking delight. But are we truly, truly finding the ultimate source of it? We all have temporary sources of it, है ना? बच्चे की खुशी, or sibling and spouse and partner and friendships, all of these are there, but everything is fleeting. They change and a disappointment comes. So where is the ultimate true source? And mother says, what a strange thing is this ignorance, that source of all suffering, that does not let us turn fully to that fountainhead of happiness and immutable peace. How miserable that obscurity which keeps men away from the very thing which would bring them happiness and subjects them to this painful school of ordinary existence fashioned entirely from struggle and suffering. Now, when do we struggle? We are struggling when we want something to happen our way. मेरे हिसाब से हो जाए. क्यों नहीं हो रहा? You strain, you strive, you struggle. And when it does not happen that way, then we have suffering. So mother says that when we are not able to turn fully to the truth, the source, the ultimate source of that joy and delight and immutable peace, then we will have to be subjected. There is no other option. Then we crave for something. If we get it, there is delight. If we don't get it, there is disappointment. And then we suffer so much, and then we are craving that please bachalo, is suffering, say please take me out. And then something happens and we have a glimpse of the divine truth within. So because of our not turning in the very beginning, because of our ignorance to the ultimate source of immutable peace and happiness, we have to go through the school of suffering. कोई option नहीं है. Ultimately the turn has to happen. Now when it will happen, how many struggles have to be there, how many painful experiences have to be there that make us convinced of where to turn, that is up to us. At times we can't help it. Experiences come, we have to go through the suffering, and then only one realizes our errors and mistakes, and then gets convinced again to find solace in the divine. So the remedy to turn towards thee, unite with thee, live in thee and for thee. So turning हो गई जब हम deeply we are deep within and we go into the depths of our heart and find mother's living image there and try to connect with that image. That is just one form of connecting. There may be, of course, many others, to each his own. So when we try to connect with the divine within, to turn towards thee, to find solace only there, and not to turn to people and situations for the solace, which we do from time to time. And that is where mother says that what a strange thing is this ignorance, ki maya. That's what maya is. It's a strange curtain. It comes from time to time. You may have read thousands of books, you may have good understanding of mother's and Sri Aurobindo's words. It doesn't matter. When that experience has to come, it comes. And then you realize, oh, I performed the stupidity again once more. And that is why mother says, what a strange thing is this ignorance, source of all suffering. And in Buddhism we have three root poisons, we may have shared earlier. The root most is ignorance, where we have no idea of who we truly are. And from that emerges attachment and aversion. So attachment to things that we would like to have so that it brings us joy, and aversion from things that do not bring us joy. So you feel a repulsion, ki nahi, hate or repulsion. And the rootmost, they say, is ignorance, that we don't know who we truly are. And that's why mother says in the first few lines that the remedy is to turn to the divine and to unite with the divine, because usually I'm united with the egoistic consciousness, this separate me who has these limitations and who wants this and that. that is what I think of myself. तो पहली बात तो हमें साइकिक रियलाइजेशन होना बहुत ज़रूरी है, that we step back to the witnessing consciousness more and more, more and more, because there is never enough. It is never enough. We can always get entangled in the roles again. I can't ever say that, oh, now I am well established, the way we are right now. So to always step back into the witnessing consciousness and keep invoking, connecting with the divine presence within. To turn towards thee, unite with thee, live in thee and for thee. To live in thee, as if you are embraced in the envelope of the divine. If you must have tried, it's a beautiful experience. At times when one is feeling, it can be done any day, but when one is feeling just totally helpless and shattered, and you just sleep in mother's embrace, as if you're sleeping in her lap. It's a beautiful experience. Live in thee and for thee. That is what is supreme happiness, unmixed joy, immutable peace. And then only we can breathe infinity. Infinity brings a lot of freedom. Otherwise, there is suffocation in our breath if we look at it. Escape from time and space. Usually, our physical situations are binding us. Time is thought. Whenever we talk of time, we have thought next to it. So we are bound with our thought, bound with the sense perceptions of हो क्या रहा है, बाहर क्या हो रहा है, कौन क्या बोल रहा है, कौन कैसे behave कर रहा है. But when we truly, truly turn to the divine, then we escape from that time and space which is binding us. We have to try this. We can read 10 prayers, but if we don't try it, then we just have to go through the miserable school of painful school of ordinary existence, fashioned entirely from struggle and suffering. Yeah, it's a good experiment. I think we have to just experiment and see what works, what doesn't work. Yeah, anyone wants to add on or share?
So when taking this more practically, so when you're a bit disappointed in certain relationships, I've noticed that generally what I would do is, as you said, speak to a friend, speak to somebody close to me, and then you jointly badger the person and talk bad about that person who's disappointed you, and then you shed a few tears. And but the whole experience is a little negative because you're bringing out, you're magnifying the negative quality of that person that you're disappointed with. And it's like a herd mentality. Everybody, it's like a gossip. Everybody talks bad about that person to make you feel good. So there's nothing positive about it, about how to elevate your sadness or disappointment. Um, also, at that time, to concentrate, to meditate becomes very difficult because your mind is in such a chaotic or instability
True.
mode, right? And you're also feeling like a victim, and you play that. You're in that loop of thoughts where you're only collecting and thinking those thoughts which put you in that kind of a helpless mode, and you can't. I find it very difficult to concentrate
Yes.
and meditate or seek the divine. So how do you walk this path
I think
when it really happens?
Bilkul, first of all, I resonate fully that in that state of extreme helplessness within, and it is, see, in all of us, we have to see this is the desire soul which is making us so miserable. ना ये collective चीज है, इससे हम सब ग्रस्त हैं. All of us are miserable because of this desire soul only, because we have identified with that, है ना, कि जब तक desire पूरी हो रही है तब तक खुशी है, जब तक नहीं पूरी हो रही तो वो हमें pain देता है. So first that, but I totally resonate that in these situations when you are in the grip of that darkness and that pain, one can say, of the heart, nothing works. Nothing works. That concentration would not come. The connect you are not able to find. And in that situation, many things may work. One of the things that works for me is if one is crying and is in pain, because of that thing, whatever is happening, just to cry out to the divine that you connect with. And as if you're just crying that, please show me the light, please show me the light, please show, just invoking. ये हो सकता है, ये रोते हुए भी हो सकता है, मुझे पता है क्योंकि मैंने किया हुआ है। अब इसमें आपको कोई कॉन्सेंट्रेट नहीं करना, आप बस चीखो, आप आप बिल्कुल बिंदास, जितनी आवाज में चीखना आप चीखो कि प्लीज मुझे बचा लो, टेक मी आउट ऑफ दिस सफरिंग, शो मी द लाइट, शो मी द लाइट, शो मी द लाइट। SOS जैसे भेजते हैं ना वो फायर क्रैकर्स, when the ship is in the middle of ocean, or it has to send SOS. So like that, and even that, I have felt that that is enough. And in those moments when nothing is working, you are not able to come to your breath, the mind may be not able to work, concentrate, meditate, deep in the heart you can't find that space, कुछ भी काम नहीं कर रहा, you can't listen to a talk and make sense of it. And in those situations, in that utter darkness, if you can just save yourself from picking up that phone and not make that phone call. I have done that, and it is very painful. I have to say that it may be harsh, it can be called harsh, because one has to endure that pain one is going in the heart, है ना? तो उस मोमेंट में अगर आप अपने आप को, आपको पता है कि टेम्पररी रिलीफ मुझे मिल सकता है यहाँ से जहाँ मैं उठना चाह रही हूँ, फोन करना चाह रही हूँ, but I want to this time find the strength within. So what happens, I have seen, is that even if you're just crying out to whatever image or the name of the divine that you connect with, I cry out to Mother and Sri Aurobindo, of course, that please, bacha lo, aankh band karke. And I've seen that it works. And immediately you are away from that grip of, the clutch of that darkness, and you turn to them and nothing is now bothering. And again, it happens in glimpses. I cannot say that एक बार वो relief मिल गया तो वो वापस clutch नहीं आएगा, वो फिर से आएगा. That clutch will come again and again I will have to turn to the light in whatever way I am capable of in that. But in the utter darkness, I have seen that just crying, if one is crying in pain, emotional pain, just crying and calling out, that please, 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 bachalo, 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 I can't do it alone. There I have seen that it somehow it helps me. Yeah. This is the grip of desire soul. It's very hard at times to bear. It is very, very hard. That is what we have to slowly step back from. And that is why you see, we all see so many avatars have to come, scriptures have been written, masters are there, mystics are there, और तब भी हमें कितनी मुश्किल होती है ना, because it's a deep clutch, of the desire soul. आसान नहीं है, नहीं तो ये एक सेशन करके हम बंद कर दें, खत्म, एक बुक लिख के खत्म कर दें. Why books and books are written? Why avatars go on and doing their work? Why masters and mystics come again and again and tell us? Because the clutch is really great, and we are complex. Human being is a complex being. At various levels, the divine has to be invoked, and in the mind, in the feelings, and everything slowly, each part and parcel of the being has to turn to the divine. It is not an easy thing. It is hard. और तभी हमें हर तरह की हेल्प अवेलेबल है, जो उस समय काम करे वो आप यूज कर लो. But if the help is taking you towards ultimate strength, towards your own inner strength, and not making you dependent on some lower kind of a release, which at times has its place, I have to say. At times picking up that phone and just blurting out, or even talking to a friend who may be able to show you the light, that dependence has its place, but that is still dependence, I would say. So slowly I feel that as we grow in strength within us, and we are able to endure more pain, we are able to then cry out and invoke that inner strength on our own, which I feel is another, like one phase in our growth, which it's nice. Yeah, so that's how it is. But we have to see that we flee away, as my mother is saying, that why do men flee away? I don't understand why one is fleeing away. Just because हमारा जो taste है वो खराब है ना, हमारा जो bad taste है, it's like आपको food का taste होता है ना, जैसे समोसे और कचौड़ी खाने की आदत लग गई है तो boiled food नहीं अच्छा लगता, पता है आपको, knowledge है ना, that is the difference between mental knowing and actual implementation. आपको knowledge है, if I truly turn within, I know that something I will find, but taste नहीं है उसका. टेस्ट अभी भी पुरानी आदतों का है, दोस्तों के साथ गप्पे शप्पे, whatever these vital things that we have, emotional involvements which we take delight in that, we have pleasure in that. तो वो जब तक प्लेजर है तब तक फिर ट्रू डिलाइट नहीं मिलती ना, यही तो श्री अरबिंदो कहते हैं, when we will have gone away from the enjoyings in life, then we will have the true delight. तो जब तक एंजॉयमेंट से काम चल रहा है, फिर इसका मतलब अभी ट्रू डिलाइट की जरूरत नहीं है ना, जब तक समोसा और कचौड़ी से काम चल रहा है, हेल्थ भी काम मतलब ठीक है, रिलेटिवली यू आर फंक्शनल, व्हाई विल यू टर्न टू द बॉइल्ड फूड? वी हैव सीन दैट, है ना, कि हम we turn to the boiled food or a relatively healthy kind of food only when our body makes us suffer, कि हार्ट में स्टंट डल गया, है ना, पेट में इरिटेबल बाउल सिंड्रोम हो गया, तब हमको लगता है कि नहीं भैया, आप तो हाथ जोड़ के विल हैव टू चेंज अवर फूड हैबिट्स. उससे पहले वी डोंट हैव द गुड टेस्ट. That is why mother says that why do men flee away from these boons? This is just owing to our past habits. We can't help it. And that is why mother says that because of that you have to endure now pain. तो इरिटेबल बाउल सिंड्रोम हुआ, पेन हुई, अब मन कर रहा है कि हाँ हाँ प्लीज थोड़ा सा फ्रूट खिलाओ, थोड़ा ये करो, अच्छा खाना खाते हैं, है ना, क्योंकि वैसे करा नहीं जा रहा था टर्न. So that is what each one of us is like that. We are not different. We maybe outwardly have different faces, live in different countries, but I feel that each one of us is same. We learn it mostly the harder way. Yeah, anything more here, anyone? Savitri, in Savitri also we have a whole canto on the problem of pain, why pain is there, why the need of pain is there. So I think I'll just find a few lines which would be, I feel, relevant here, what we are reading right now. Let us see. Hmm. Yes. So here I think we had touched upon this somewhere in some session where uh, Queen is asking ki, why, why is this required? And then Narad shares that why Queen is the mother of Savitri. She is asking why do we have to go through all this so much of pain? And then Narad has his reply, his response, where he tells that why is the need of pain. So let us see where it is. See here. This is the response. I'm just picking a few lines from Narad's response. This mortal creature is his own worst foe. He walks by his own choice into hell's trap. Nothing he has learned from time and its history which is so true. Even if we look at our own individual life, we, as if we don't learn, we just keep repeating similar mistakes again and again. Nothing has he learned from time and its history. Let me find a few more lines. I think now Narad replies. So that was Queen talking about what is the condition of man. And now he is sharing that ये जो इतनी painful situation आपने जो describe करी है, there is a reason. So then he is saying, was then the sun a dream because there is night? Hidden in the mortal's heart. See, this is what we have to find. All of us have to find. Hidden in the mortal's heart, the eternal lives. He lives secret in the chamber of thy soul. A light shines there, nor pain nor grief can cross. A darkness stands between thyself and him. So this is what we have to cross, when we are approaching our own light, there is a deep darkness that we have to go through. It's not just light, you directly hit the light. It's not like that. And in another place, Sri Aurobindo says, an absolute supernatural darkness falls sometimes on man when he draws close to God. So we have to all go through this darkness, this pain and darkness before we can touch that true light that is hiding. So he says, a darkness stands between thyself and him. Thou canst not hear nor or feel the marvelous guest. And right now, when I am in trouble and suffering and pain, you can't feel that light. You say, okay, you tell me light is there, but I can't feel it. All I feel is darkness. So he says, thou canst not hear or feel the marvelous guest. Thou canst not see the beatific sun. O Queen, thy thought is a light of the ignorance. Its brilliant curtain hides from thee God's face. So as long as we are absorbed in all our thoughts and turmoils, we will not be able to see God's face within us. O Queen, thy thought is a light of the ignorance. Its brilliant curtain hides from thee God's face. It illumes a world born from the unconscious, but hides the immortal's meaning in the world. कि कुछ कुछ आपको वो दिखा देती है ना, आपकी थॉट आपको ये दिखा रही है कि अच्छा आगे नेक्स्ट कदम कहाँ रखूं, पानी कहाँ से उठाऊं, चाय का कप कहाँ पड़ा है ना, ये सब आपको दिखा देता है आपका सेंस माइंड और थॉट. It illumes a world born from the inconscience, but hides the immortal's meaning in the world. Why are we here? That it hides. Thy mind's light hides from thee the eternal's thought. Thy heart's hopes hide from thee the eternal's will. So as long as I am immersed in what I am hoping from this, the people around me, मेरी लाइफ में ऐसा हो जाए वैसा हो जाए, वो as if they act as a curtain. They don't let me, allow me to be in touch with my deeper light. Thy heart's hopes hide from thee the eternal's will. Earth's joys shut from thee the immortal's bliss. Thence rose the need of a dark, intruding God, the world's dread teacher, the creator, pain. Where ignorance is, there suffering too must come. Thy grief is a cry of darkness to the light. How beautiful, really. Thy grief is a cry of darkness to the light. Where ignorance is, suffering too must come. So this is what we were reading in Mother's prayer. That because of ignorance, we are subjected to the ordinary school of pain, struggle and turmoil and pain. एंड इग्नोरेंस मीन्स आई डोंट नो वेयर टू टर्न ट्रूली. वहां पे मैं आराम से टर्न नहीं करती हूँ, पिट पिट के टर्न करती हूँ, है ना. जब IBS हो जाता है या हार्ट में स्टंट डल जाता है, तब मैं अच्छा खाना शुरू करती हूँ. पहले मैं अच्छा खाना नहीं खाती हूँ. थॉट्स एंड फीलिंग्स में तब प्योर अपनी करनी शुरू करती हूँ जब खूब पिटाई होती है लाइफ में, खूब ब्लोज पड़ते हैं, खूब दर्द मिलता है, तब मैं अपने थॉट्स एंड फीलिंग्स डिवाइन की तरफ टर्न करती हूँ. अदरवाइज मैं नहीं करती तो मिलेगा पेन. पेन इज लाइक, आपने देखा होगा वो जैसे हॉर्सेस आर देयर और इवन बुलक कार्ट्स आर देयर एंड अ पर्सन इज सिटिंग, एंड एज लॉन्ग एज द बुलक इज going where it has to go on the right road, then the person does not hit her, hit him. But the moment it is not aligned with on the same on the right road, you have to get up. It's like a goad. You have to strike it, and then it takes the right course. तो ये हम सब की हालत है, और हम सब इसमें इकट्ठे हैं. We are all in the same boat. We just have to go through it slowly as our wheels are getting aligned more and more to the divine.
Beautiful example, Monica.
Sri Aurobindo uses the word goad. Pain is goad, like you're poking it. Ki, सीधा चल, like that.
Beautiful. Really.
Yeah, anything more? Anyone? तो होता क्या है कि जब हमें कोई भी चीज़ बहुत तड़पा रही होती है, बहुत ज़्यादा, और हमारा ध्यान उसकी तरफ से हट नहीं रहा होता है, एंड इट इज़ गिविंग अस टू मच पेन एंड सफरिंग, the only thing that has to happen in that instance is whatever, either you cry out and do it silently, it doesn't matter how you do it, just turn to the divine, turn to the divine, turn to the divine, whoever divine you resonate with. There lies immutable peace, supreme happiness, unmixed joy. है ना. अब आपने उस सब को अनदेखा कर दिया. You have just ignored all that you were thinking and feeling. है ना. And one can say that, oh, as if you have suppressed it, but it's not suppression. It's just that in our ignorance, the way we are looking at things and way we are understanding the happenings of our life, that is not absolutely true. It is a distorted perception of reality. और जब तक मैं उसको सही मानती रहूं कि जो मैं सोच रही हूं वो सही है, that is ignorance. And the moment I become unsure of my thought, that yeah, I may be thinking this, but I'm not sure, because my thought is a curtain. How am I sure what I am thinking is correct? So then we are able to push all of that feelings and emotions. For the time being, we can push it aside and just totally nestle in the arms of the divine. Find within the divine and outside also, as if we are embraced in the embrace of the divine mother. Nestle yourself there. No need to think. है ना. ऐसे moments में thought भी काम नहीं आती है. No need to think about it. Just helplessly, like a child, a crying child comes and what he wants is just mother गोदी उठा ले मम्मी. कुछ नहीं चाहिए उसको. है ना. वो भाग के मम्मी के पास जाता है, बहुत थक गया, बहुत पिट के आया है, दोस्तों से या whatever. वो बस उसको मम्मी चाहिए. Just that you just nestle in the arms of the divine, and I think that really most of the times in such intense moments, it does change and shift the consciousness. And change happens in progressively stages, we have to know. So only in time, through experiences, we, by all these sticks, we slowly turn, then fully to the divine. अभी आधे turned है, आधे parts in the being want something else, है ना. कुछ part turned है, but कुछ नहीं turned है. And psychic consciousness is that consciousness in us which understands that yes, this is important. To turn to the divine is, I know it is important. That consciousness is in us which is given already to the divine, which understands, which knows what is the right. That is our psychic consciousness, and we all have glimpses of that. So वो टर्न हो चुकी है, बट माइंड टर्न नहीं हुआ, इमोशंस टर्न नहीं हुए, बॉडी टर्न नहीं हुई है, डिजायर्स टर्न नहीं हुई है. So slowly the wheel alignment has to take place, and it takes a long time. It's a mother says in prayers and meditations that even for the best, the process is very long. So yes. And our heart also grows, all these emotional challenges, as if, in one of the talks Alokda was sharing, that as if it's like, for example, when we read Sri Aurobindo, we try to understand and we try to silence the mind and read his words, long sentences. It is a gymming exercise for the brain. It's very good to read Sri Aurobindo. Is a gym for the brain. It stretches the brain, it makes it wider and expansive. And just like that, when we are going through these emotional turmoils in our life, that also is a gym for our heart. है ना, इतना छोटा सा हमारा हार्ट होता है, ये 2 लोग 4 लोग and that's it, है ना. And then it stretches it, and it becomes more solid and endures more pain and is able to have capable of more delight without spilling it out, without blabbering it out. So that's a kind of a gymming of the muscle of the heart, the emotional challenges that we have. है ना, आप ज्यादा पेन सह कर सकते हो, सह लेते हो. यू कैन एंड्योर मोर पेन, यू कैन एंड्योर मोर डिलाइट. अदरवाइज इतनी सी खुशी होती है और मन करता है बस किसको बताऊं. वी कांट स्टैंड इट. So how will we stand the Satchidananda wala Ananda, when we are not able to stand even little joys of our life? We just want to spill it out. Kisko bataun? So slowly, with all these experiences, the muscles of our emotional heart also, I feel, no matter how much pain we have to endure in the process, they get stronger. We get more grace and poise and endurance in our being. तभी मजा है लाइफ का. अदरवाइज क्या जिए अगर सीखे नहीं चैलेंजेस से, अगर मसल्स डेवलप नहीं हुई, then what's the point of just aging up in years? Yeah. So I think we should just maybe take this much today, and maybe practice more, read little. Mother says, read one little bit at a time, but practice. So we have to see that we may not flee from these boons, which is to turn fully to the divine within, and outside also feel embraced and enveloped in the divine all the time, and not depend on the fleeting things for our joy and true delight. Because as mother says, that we fall on our nose and then it hurts at times very badly. How many times we want to just repeat that experience for our own self? कितना करेंगे? And knowing that in all of us this is this collective ignorance. हमारी अपनी गलती नहीं है ये, it's not our fault. ये collective ignorance है which is working through each one of us, which we have to transform slowly. Otherwise, why will the whole canto be written on the problem of pain? If it was not a collective human problem, it's a collective human problem. And the technique of Tonglen in Buddhism, where when you are feeling pain, you connect with the pain of all others who are going through such experience, and you say that, let me inhale all that suffering. Now I know how it feels when people go through such experience, and may everyone have true peace and joy at heart. So the Tonglen practice in Buddhism. So that is where we connect through our pain, we connect with the pain of humanity. Everyone is going through some turmoil or the other. Why? Because the desire soul is in action. है ना, और उसी को हमने ट्रांसफॉर्म करना है. We have to transform. We will be able to transform if we keep invoking and inviting divine light in any which form that resonates with us. Show me the light, take me towards greater light, bachalo, or whatever, everything works. Everything works. When a child is wanting to call the mother, you must have seen. चाहे वो रो रहा है, चाहे वो माँ बोल रहा है, चाहे वो मम्मी बोल रहा है, चाहे वो कोई जेस्चर से बुला रहा है, मम्मी तो आएंगी, है ना. इफ द चाइल्ड वांट्स द मदर, मम्मी आएंगी. उसको मम्मी को पता लग जाएगा कि हाँ, ओके, दिस इज अ कॉल. सो द डिवाइन मदर नोज व्हेन देयर इज अ कॉल. वी मस्ट कॉल like a child, who doesn't care about how I am calling, which language I am calling. Just call, and the mother is here to embrace us. Yeah, so any last comments, anyone? Okay, so we'll just take a moment then, in that case, if not anything, just again maybe taking a moment to connect with collective pain in humanity, and knowing that we are all in this together. And with the in breath, we inhale that suffering, that collective suffering, because we also know how it feels. I know through my own pain how it feels. We inhale that suffering, and with the out breath, we exhale peace and joy for everyone. May everyone have true peace and joy, including ourselves. May all the hearts be healed, and may they have truest joy that is possible. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Monica.
Thank
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.